All right, so my name is Bulos Abdallah. I am an academic advisor here for the School of Engineering First Year Advising Hub, and I am joined by.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kelly Stutz. I'm one of the SOE Hub advisors as well. And today we're going to be discussing mechanical engineering and materials engineering. And first, we're going to introduce the rest of our team on the next slide. So this is the Hub. We are a team of 5 advisors, and we all specialize in different advisors, but for the summer, we will be team advising you. So if you can't speak to one of us directly, we're going to work our best to get your questions answered, especially when it comes to registration. But yeah, this is our team. So just kind of a breakdown of what we're going to be talking about today. This is our introductions, kind of going over some housekeeping things and what we're going to talk about today. Then we're going to review our major templates and other resources from our website. Then we're going to discuss how to register based on the templates with your majors. Transfer course process. I know that's a hot topic right now, especially as we're waiting for AP credits to come in, but we'll discuss that as well. And then lastly, we'll go over any important dates that are coming up. I know you're getting a lot of emails from FYE with other dates too. So these are more surrounding your registration dates and adding and dropping classes. So first, what is the Hub? We are experienced professional advisors. We are here to help guide you on your first 2 semesters and to make sure that you know that you are fulfilling all your degree requirements. We want to make sure you're graduating. So we are here to guide you and show you how to do that and how to map that out. First 2 semesters, that's where we come in. And also after you have us for your first year, then you'll be assigned a faculty advisor, and they will help guide you with specific internship things as well, which subject area you want to get into. Some majors have secondary advisors, staff advisors. So in the departments, ECSE or Maine, I know there's a lot of acronyms, but ECSE is Electrical, Computer, and Systems, and Maine is your department, or mechanical, at least, mechanical, aero, nuclear. And then materials has your own department. So you'll be assigned a faculty advisor there as well. Then yeah. So where is the Hub? So we are located on the 3rd floor of the JEC, or the Johnson Engineering Center. So you'll enter in that DCC side, or the Darren Communications Center. On that 3rd floor, you'll pass the elevators, past the dean's office, walk down the hallway, and then through the Ansel Lounge. That's where you'll find our Hub. I promise it's not as long as it sounds. It's just like a super straight hallway. And then you'll find us in the Hub. So you can meet with us in person. We also hold virtual appointments. And once you're assigned your Hub advisor, that's when we can start doing that. So it'll be around the August timeframe. And then throughout the year, we will be able to meet with you, and we can go over any inquiries you have with minors, potential dual majors, things like that. We can kind of go over what your options are. So yeah, that's where you can meet with us. And here's a list of all the SOE majors. So some majors are easier to transfer into than others. So if you start mechanical and you're like, I'm not sure if I want to stay this, I want to transfer to materials, we can talk about that. But also if you're undeclared and you're thinking of a certain major, such as mechanical or materials, if you're here today, that's where we're here to help you go over those options and what it looks like to transition into a new major. The beauty of RPI is that you can do that pretty seamlessly. Some majors are a little more structured than others, but for the most part, it's pretty doable, especially after your first semester. So definitely come and talk to us, and we'll review all of your options.
All right, thanks, Kelly. So I'm going to take it over from here. This is just a snapshot of your 4-year templates for both mechanical engineering and for materials engineering, but I don't really love using Canva to show you what these are and how to find them. So how do you find them? So first off, you want to go to our website. Usually what I do is just pop in RPI SOE Hub into the browser, whatever you're using, and then the first link is usually almost always going to be our website. Then scroll down, click on class of 2008. And this is going to be, you're going to find everything here, pretty much all answers to your questions. I can guarantee that they will be found on this webpage here. And if not, that's what the WebEx chat is for, which I'll talk about in a couple of moments. But how do you find your templates? If you click on how do I create my schedule for next semester, all of the templates will be here. At least all the PDF templates will be in here in Box, which is a platform that we use at RPI. You should be able to have access in it there. Thanks, Kelly. So materials, MTLE, you can find it up here. One quick piece of advice that I'm going to give to all of the materials engineers that are in this webinar or watching this webinar, stick to the template. There's not a whole lot of room for flexibility, unfortunately. And the main reason why is most of your classes in your junior year and on are only offered in the fall or in the spring semester. So if you are falling behind, or if you're trying to get fancy or get creative, my advice would be to do that. But if you're falling behind, obviously there are ways that we can get you caught up or help you get caught up. But at the end of the day, if you can, try to stick to the order of this template. Mechanical engineers, on the other hand, there is a little bit more room for flexibility. You can mix and match some classes here and there, but I wouldn't talk to any upperclassmen for advice on what to do. What might have worked for them 2, 3, 4 years ago probably will not work for you today. The best way to get answers to your questions is to get in touch with us at the Hub, and we will advise you that's going to best set you up for success. And that goes for you too, materials as well. But let us know if there's any questions about, swapping the order of some of these classes. At the end of the day, the templates are exactly what they are. They're a guide. I would say to use them as best as you can. So that is what we have for templates. What is our next slide here? All right, so Quax. If you haven't heard of what Quax is, that's okay. All of that is going to be on our website here. That's where you can find the link. I already have it open here, but we can just close that. Quax, what is it? It's a student created, I don't know how to best describe it really. ARCOS, which is the Rensselaer Center for Open Source at RPI, created this a bunch of years ago, and they finally tuned it over the years. It's something that you could use as a resource to create your own schedules to help you prepare for registration day on July 10th. Whenever you go to Quax, always make sure that fall 2024 is selected and not one of these ancient old semesters here for best results, especially if you're going to be registering for the fall 24. You don't want to be using any one of these older semesters, obviously, right? Cool. So if we're going to be following along the mechanical engineering template here, I already created a set schedule for us. You can kind of go in here, pick out your classes, pick out your times. What does that look like? I'll show you in a second. So here is a pre-made schedule that I did on my own time for a mechanical engineer. If you're not really in love with your 8 a.m. classes, one thing I would say is you might not have a choice. You're probably going to have to settle for an 8 a.m. class or two, especially in your first couple of years at RPI. But as you go through the ranks, as you go through the years, you might be able to be a little bit more selective. So for example, with chemistry, looks like you can't really escape the 8 o'clock time slots. But you can select different professors. You could select different sections if you have a couple of friends that you want to have class with. Might be a really good idea. There are some other classes where you will have some more options. Blue are the ones that I selected. Red means it conflicts with another time that you selected, and so on and so forth. So you will be able, or what Quax will do is it'll generate anywhere between 1 and many thousands of schedules. You kind of get to go through and select which one best fits for you. Let's say we're going to go with this one. You get to sleep in on 3 of the days. Wednesday is going to be really packed, but depends. You might like that. Sometimes you might not. I wouldn't really recommend going and doing something like this, but everybody's different. But anyway, the point of Quax is it's going to generate these 5-digit codes here. It's called CRNs, also known as course registration numbers. What you're going to do with these codes here is when you go and log into SIS, let's go to the next slide. When you click on student menu, click on register, add, or drop, you'll be able to see, skipping ahead here, sorry guys. You'll be able to see a page that looks like this. It's got little tiny boxes where you can throw in each individual CRN. And when you hit submit changes, boom, you are automatically registered for that class. I know I skipped ahead a little bit. If you were to log into SIS, you can look up all the class times here, and it's really helpful. So my screen here is going to be a little bit different than yours. Yours will be a little bit more closely related to this. Nope, not this screen. This screen right here. So student menu, for me, it's instructor/advisor menu. But when you click on class search, it's all going to be the same. So if you wanted to look at all your Haas inquiry options, run that search, it'll give you all of those classes. If you wanted to look up a specific class, you can do that as well. So that's a really good way to see like what your availability is for each of the classes or for each of the sections. See who the professors are. You can see where the room is and everything. All this information can be found in Quax, but on July 10th, with the nature of how busy it's going to be, SIS is going to be king. What SIS shows you, Quax will show you, but in a delayed time. So what you might see in Quax might be inaccurate, might not be accurate to what SIS is telling us. So just keep that in mind when you are registering on July 10th. What I would suggest for everybody to do, whether you're materials or mechanical or any other engineer, have a schedule or 2 or 3, have some backup options, figure out, you know, what you like, what's plan A, what's plan B, what's plan C, just in case if you throw in all 5 of your CRN codes, hit submit, and you get some errors. Maybe some of the classes were full when you registered for them. Maybe there was some conflicts if you weren't using Quax, which wouldn't be a good idea. Make sure you use Quax, put together a schedule, have a backup or option or 2. That way, when July 10th at the specific time of your time ticket hits, all you have to do is copy paste those CRNs in those little boxes, hit submit, and hopefully you're done for the summer and you don't have to worry about it until August when school starts. So just to reiterate Kelly's message in the chat, if you have any questions about what we've talked about so far or anything like that, please throw them in the chat and we will be able to answer those questions for you towards the end. All right, so moving on to the transfer credit process. If you are expecting to transfer in credits like AP or IB or Cambridge A, please do so sooner rather than later. If you have a 4 or 5 in AP, a 6 or a 7 in IB, or earned an A or a B in your Cambridge A, make sure you send those scores in. Make sure you request a transcript and send that to the RPI registrar. Do it sooner rather than later. Is there a deadline for when you need to transfer these credits by? Yes, there is. It's at the end of your first year, but it's highly advisable that you don't wait until the last minute. Do it now, especially if you were to submit the scores today, it might take you a couple weeks, or not you, it might take the system anywhere between 2 and 3 or 4 weeks to get them processed, maybe even longer, just because of the servers and everybody in the country is basically doing them right now. So the servers might be a little bit behind, but submit those scores, submit your credits. We will have much better knowledge of knowing what we're going to play around with. If you and I, or if you were going to meet with your advisor to plan out your next year. So that would be really, really helpful if you were to do that sooner or later. So moving on to the next page here. So for the transfer credit process, there's two different credits that you can transfer in. Don't really worry about the transfer summer credit just yet. I'll talk about that in just a second, but right now let's more focus on the dual enrollment. What is dual enrollment? If you took a class at a college, whether it's a four-year university or a community college while you were in high school, but those credits were not used towards your high school diploma, you can transfer in those credits. As long as you received a C- or a better and you can get them signed off by someone at your high school, you would need to complete the incoming freshman transfer credit procedure / high school certification form, request a transcript from the school, and then send all of that to RPI's registrar. That will probably be the best way to get your dual enrollment credits transferred. Moving on to the transfer summer credit, we're still a little early in the ballgame for that, so you don't have to worry about it just yet. But let's say next summer you want to take a class like a Physics 2 or a multivariable calculus. You can do that at a different school and then transfer those credits in. Same thing with dual enrollment. As long as you get a C- or better, you do have to fill out a transfer credit approval form. I have to sign it, as well as a representative from a specific school at RPI, whether it's the School of Science or the engineering, depending on what class that you want to take. You're going to submit that form to me, and then I will take care of the rest for you. The same thing, like I said, C- or better, request a transcript, send it to RPI. Don't have to worry about that just yet. Obviously, it's still years away before we do have to worry about it. But right now, if you have any dual enrollment credits or AP or IB, send those credits in now and don't wait until the last minute. So I see some questions are coming in. Keep sending them in. I'm not going to go over them just yet, but I appreciate you all for asking. Keep sending them in. So I kind of talked a little bit about this. Formally, the Institute's policy, as I said, first-time freshmen are required to complete all AP, IB, Cambridge A-level or dual enrollment credit requests by the end of the first year to be considered for transfer. But I can't stress this enough. Don't wait. Do it now. Try to get it in before the start of the fall semester. That way we know exactly what we're working with, what we can play around with, and it'll make things so much more easier for you and for your advisor as well. Some important dates. June 24th already happened, obviously, so I won't really spend too much time on time ticket assignment. But if you were to log into SIS, I'm going to go back here by a couple of slides. If you click on student menu and click on check registration status, this will tell you exactly what day and what time your ticket or your time ticket is, meaning what time you can go ahead and register for your classes, aka throw those CRNs into those little boxes. That way you can register for those classes. Everybody has a July 10th date. The times are between I think 8:30 and 11:30. I don't think they're going anything later than that. But if you're having any issues or if you can't find it, please let us know. Send us an email or shoot me a message on WebEx or use the big chat. Let us know, and we will support you in finding out that information. So right now we are in the middle of the consultation period. We've hosted 2 drop-in periods so far, one on Wednesday last week and one this morning. We are going to be doing another drop-in period tomorrow between 9 and 12, and again from 1 to 4 Eastern times. We are going to be hosting a number of webinars, which the majority of them have actually already been hosted. You can find all of the recordings if you're interested on our website here. This one will be posted later today or sometime tomorrow. But there's still a couple more here. This one's probably going to be a big one. So if you want another recap of how to register for your classes, that would probably be a good one to go to. First day of classes, make sure you circle this on your calendars, August 28th. This year, the add and the drop deadline are going to be 2 weeks into the semester. So let's say, for example, you got a 4 or a 5 on your Calc 1 AP exam and you decided to skip Calc 1 and go right into Calc 2, but Calc 2 is a little bit more intense than you thought it was going to be. So what do? If you feel like you want to take a step back, drop Calc 2 and pick up Calc 1. As long as you do it before that September 13th drop deadline, it's not going to show up on your transcript. It's going to be eliminated. It's going to be like you never took Calc 2 at all. If you need to drop it after that September 13th deadline, it'll still show up on your transcript, but it's not going to be counted against your GPA or anything like that. So if you have any questions or if you're not really sure how to strategize on how to do something like that, let your advisor know and we can kind of go over that together. Kelly, did I miss anything at all in these last couple of slides?
Nope, just a few questions in the chat.
Cool. All right, what are the questions that we received, Kelly?
Okay, so the first one is, on July 10th, do we only select classes for the fall or do we select the spring semester as well?
Great question. So you are only going to be registering for the fall semester. So every semester, you're going to need to register for the following semester. So in the fall, the registration period for the spring will be, I think, in around November. And then you do that all over again in March for the fall semester the following year. So this is the only time where you're going to be registering in the summer, only because you're an incoming student. So to answer your question, short answer, no, you don't have to worry about the spring. You're just going to be registering for the fall.
Cool. Next question. If we plan to complete a minor, are there classes we need to start scheduling for freshman year, or would those be completed in later years?
Another great question, and thank you for asking. And it really depends on the minor that you want to go towards. If it's a Haas minor, it's probably going to be a little bit easier, since if you look back at the templates, everybody has to do 5 Haas courses. 1, 2, 3, and then missing 1, 4, and then 5. 3 of these classes have to be a part of the pathway, but if there's a pathway that has a compatible minor to it, then great, you would just need to add that 4th class and then you would still have that 1 class left over. If the minor that you want to do is not a Haas pathway, chances are you're going to have to use your free electives, because free electives can be anything. Or you might have to end up taking an extra class somewhere in these 4 years. To declare your minor officially, you can't really do it in the middle of you getting your minor, but towards the end of your time here, maybe in your junior or senior year, if you registered for that 4th and final class, you'll probably then be able to go ahead and make that minor official. Great question, thank you. But it really just depends. And if you have something that's a little bit more complicated than what I explained, no worries. We can always set up a time to meet and we can connect in the future so we can make sure that that minor is built into your 4-year plan.
Cool. Next question. How hard is it to dual major in mechanical and materials engineering?
Another great question. Keep them coming, guys. How hard is it to dual major in mechanical and materials? It's pretty hard. And I'm not saying that just because doing all the classes together will kind of get overwhelming, but it's just, you got to try to find something that's going to be compatible. Is it doable? It might be. Is it recommended? Probably not. And the reason why is, a lot, like I said earlier, a lot of the classes for materials only show up in the spring or in the fall, whereas mechanical classes kind of show up in both. And there's not a lot of overlap between both of the majors. So you're probably looking at spending an extra year or 2 completing that minor. That's probably not the best bang for your buck. If that's something that you really are interested in, maybe look into doing maybe look into doing a master's program, like a 4+1 type of thing that RPI has, where you can graduate with a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. It really just depends on how many credits you bring in. It really depends on your GPA. These master's level programs, they really like students to have at least a 3.0 or above. But for materials, I think it's a 3.3 because every engineering program or really any program at RPI is going to be different and they'll have their own different stipulations and qualifications. But how hard is it? It really just depends. But in this case, materials and mechanical, they're not super compatible with each other. I don't know if I would recommend it, but if you wanted to sit down together and we can kind of put together a plan, if you really want to, I'm more than happy to do that with you. And we can kind of see what we are working with.
Okay. Previous question about we have a lot of AP and transfer credit questions. So I'm not sure yet which classes I'll be able to skip, and these are Cambridge A levels. Since the results of the levels, A levels come during mid-August, would you be able to elaborate on this? Do you want me to answer it?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Honestly, I would recommend registering for, like, if you're waiting for math credit to come in, I would just register for Calc 1 for now, and then we can make changes to your schedule later. I was working with a student earlier with the same issue, and they're waiting potentially on physics and chemistry as well. So, you know, register for IEA or Intro to Engineering Analysis. It's probably a safe bet. Some type of math. So if you felt really good in the exam, but it really kind of depends on what your scores are. So play it safe. We can register for Calc 1 for now, and then we can make changes later. And then like with chemistry and physics, it just kind of depends. So I would meet with Bulo separately if you can. This way we can kind of create a more solidified plan, but that's kind of my general answer for everybody. Kind of in this waiting game. But we are submitting like an override request form to everybody. So basically you will fill that out with the courses that you will get overridden into. It's not a guarantee, but it's just kind of our solution for right now. So definitely keep an eye on your email. But yeah, we're kind of in this waiting game. But for now, register for what you can, and then we can always make changes later.
Yeah, and don't get nervous too. The registration period is going to be from July 10th to July 16th, and then it'll close after that. But that doesn't mean that you can't make the adjustments. The registration window will open again closer towards the start of the fall semester. That's when we'll be able to go in and make those changes. But we could still meet anytime between windows to make sure that you have a good solid plan and we can kind of assess what you brought in and where we can go from there. But thank you for answering that, Kelly. I appreciate it.
Next question. Do AP classes in humanities count towards the HAAS requirements? And if so, can we replace them with other electives?
You want to take that?
Sure. The answer is yes. You can use 8 credits of AP credit towards your overall HAAS. Honestly, for now, bring in as much as you can. So submit as many of those APs as you can, and we will tell you where it will go into your program. But overall, as long as you complete a pathway and then you have 8 credits of AP, that's fine. If your AP credit counts towards your pathway, that can work too, like in econ. This is a general rule for everybody. If you bring in econ 1200, do not take inquiry 1200. Please take a different inquiry class because they are the same class, and then you won't be able to use your AP class essentially if you decide to complete the inquiry one. So small things like that are what we're here to help you with. It's very specific depending on your credit you bring in. So Monday is the big day for AP credit, so keep an eye on that. Submit everything you can, but you can't transfer in an INQR course or that HAAS inquiry course. So best bet is to register for an INQR course in the fall so that you ensure you meet that requirement.
Thanks, Kelly. A question came in, is Intro Engineering Design Pilot and Engineering Processes good courses to take within the first semester? Yes and no. I am assuming you're a mechanical engineer. So that engineering design elective / pilot, they're kind of one and the same. Yes, it is a third year course. It used to actually be right here in the sophomore semester. I wouldn't recommend taking this course in your first semester just because you want to take some time to establish your surroundings, how college works, how RPI works, really kind of get your bearings down before jumping into that class because it is a pretty heavy class and I wouldn't want you to do something like that if you aren't prepared for it. On the other hand, engineering processes, absolutely. If you wanted to, you can actually take processes in this semester without taking anything out, or you could swap it with this other one credit course, engineering graphics and CAD. Take CAD in your second semester and take processes in your first semester. That would probably be a good move. So I'll let you guys in. I wasn't going to mention it in this presentation, but this one credit CAD course is a pretty heavy course generally. They tell us to really treat it more like a 3 credit class with the amount of homework that's assigned. The homework assignments are usually about 3 to 4 hours per week. You're watching YouTube videos and replicating what you learned in those YouTube videos. I know it doesn't sound like a whole lot, but if you're adding all the other hours that you're spending studying for calculus and IEA and chemistry, it adds up after a while. And like I said, your first semester can be a little bit more challenging just because you're trying to figure things out. It's totally normal, it's totally okay. But if you're looking to add some breaks, swapping processes with CAD might be a really good move for you. If you do have CAD experience, like if you messed around with any sort of software in high school, whether it was in class or whether it was for something fun or a project that you worked on in your spare time, you should be fine. The program that we use here at RPI for CAD is NX. It's not my personal favorite, but it really does get into the nitty gritty and it teaches you a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes. And there's a lot of things that aren't automated, but it gets you better, it gets you stronger, and it gets you more prepared for more popular programs like a SolidWorks, for example.
Next question is, do entering freshmen have to worry about the ARCH program yet? I'm going to answer it and say no. Don't worry about that yet. We'll get more in detail with that during the year, but quick answer is no. We want to get through this freshman registration period and then we can help you with the ARCH options later on.
That's right. Yeah, you don't have to worry about the ARCH until next year anyway, so we don't really have to spend a whole lot of time or energy on it. But if you are kind of concerned about it, we can talk a little bit more when we sit down one-on-one together, and I can kind of point you in the right directions here and there. If you're concerned about finding an internship or anything like that, I can help you connect with the right resources on campus. But kind of like what Kelly said, no, you don't have to worry about it yet.
Okay. Is there a way that there is a chem and pre-calc refresh program offered before school starts? Is there something similar for Physics 1? So yes, there is a chem and pre-calc refresher 2 weeks before the semester starts. Highly recommend you sign up for those. Haven't heard anything about Physics 1. However, when you register for Physics 1, you have the opportunity in your fall semester to register for physics mentoring, which is a co-requisite. You'll register for both those at the same time. And what physics mentoring is, it's only freshmen and it's a small course, a small classroom. So it's probably about half the class of what your lecture is. And then you're able to review material with the teaching assistant in that class. So it's kind of like a study space just for physics. All the other subjects do not offer this. There's like recitations and things, but this is a specifically designed physics section for freshmen. So that's something during the year that you can keep up with that I would highly recommend. It's also required if you end up registering for Physics 1 in the fall.
Yep, and just to reiterate, this is just for the fall. If you were to pick up Physics 1 in the spring, you don't have to worry about registering for any one of these sections here because they're not offered in the spring. So when you're building the schedule out in CLACS, just make sure that you do toss in Physics 1101. Make sure you pick out a section that works. And then when you're in SIS registering for your classes, make sure that you do put that CRN in there at the same time as you do with at least Physics 1. So what I mean by that is sometimes people will do one class at a time. Let me go back to this box here real quick. So some people will put like one CRN, submit changes, one CRN, submit changes, or you can do all 5 or 6 in this case and submit changes and let the system do the whole thing for you. Speaking of CRNs and registering for classes, we've had a number of issues over the years where students would use bots or programs that they coded themselves to auto-register for classes when their time ticket hits. So like, let's say your time ticket's at 8:30, but you're notorious for sleeping in until the late hours of the afternoon for whatever reason. And you're going to want a bot or a program to do that for you. You're going to get signed out of SIS and you're going to completely miss the registration window because of how badly backed up the registrar gets with that. For whatever reason, a lot of people still do it, even though we warn everyone to not to do it. So I would just really hope that no Mechis or no materials do it this year, and that'll be something that we can hang our hats on and be proud of. So no weird automatic programs, no coding, things that you're going to be doing. Just make sure you do get up on time, make sure you do submit your CRNs on time, hit submit, and then you should be good to go. Kelly, what other questions do we have?
So last one's a follow-up to the Physics A level exam. So I feel like I've done well in the Physics A level and decide not to register for the class, but when the results are out, the grade doesn't look so good. Will I be able to change things around in my class registration? Yes. So we will work with you to make those changes. My recommendation is to sign up for Physics for now, and then if you did well in it, then we drop it. So this way it saves your seat in the class, and then we're able to add something else. So whether it's IEA, chemistry, something else in your program, if we need to, it's a free elective, things like that. Really depends on the transfer credit you bring in, and then we can kind of go from there. But just to save your spot all around, I would register for Physics and Physics mentoring in the fall so that you have the ability to drop that and then change it into something else, whether it's Physics 2 or another course.
Cool. Thank you, Kelly. And thank you for everybody for being here. Let's sign out. I will stick around to answer more questions. I'm going to turn the recording off here. So if you're watching, thank you.